Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. Dev here. And today I wanted to share a concept called the lazy concept, the lazy framework, however you want to say it. This actually has come from just re-looking at a lot of the things that I've been doing over the last little while. And I came across this quote, I think it was Bill Gates that said it. I'd rather give a hard task to a lazy person because they're going to find the easiest, most efficient way to do it because they don't want to do the extra work. And I align with that and I resonate with that so much. I feel like the reality is I want to do it the most efficient way possible. Do it once and I never have to look at it again. That is just where I'm at? And so I wanted to break this framework down. It's called the lazy framework. Of course, that is an abbreviation. And so lazy, so L is leverage one pipeline, A, automate micro steps, Z, zero dead ends, and Y, yield data-driven tracking. I love it. I think that just fits exactly what, I want to bring more of. I think when I look at my niche, when I look at the industry, and I said this on the episode last week, the industry changes so much. And I feel like now more than ever, a lot of people want to create their own business because they want the freedom that comes with it. And they want to be doing more of the coaching or making an impact, right? But we get bogged down by the tasks that we don't necessarily need to do. And so, after getting a lot of feedback from a lot of the current clients that I do have, they felt like it would be really helpful to just share because this was some of the stuff that actually helped them understand how useful it can be by having a platform, by having more specifically one pipeline, one funnel. I think when you really start to understand that people get confused, right? And at the end of the day, if you're watching this and you're just a little bit like, oh, well, I don't know where to start because there's just so many people offering so many different things. And sometimes it's the same person is offering so many different things as well. How do I know which one is for me? There's nothing worse than seeing a brand new entrepreneur that can do it all. It's like, oh, yeah, I help with your copywriting. And yeah, I can also build your funnels. Then, oh, yeah, I'll also take your sales calls. And oh, yeah, I'll also train your employees. It's like, just pick one thing. And I think for a lot of us, we can resonate with that because we have a free guide, maybe, for example, and the free guide maybe doesn't get enough traction. We don't get enough responses or reviews or feedback for it to see if it's good or not. And so we just immediately think, okay, the free guide isn't it. I want to pivot. I want to make a new free guide and just continue the same process. But what if your free guide isn't the problem? What if the way that you're delivering the free guide is the problem, right? A lot of people know that a free guide is more of like a lead nurturing type of thing. It's a way that people can get into your world. It's a free thing. And once they're in your world, this is where they can learn more about what you stand for, what you offer, your values, your promises, and so on. And so what we realize is that sometimes actually having less is better. If you have 10 different free guides and they're in across the board with different industries and so on, but then there's one person that just that's all they talk about and the free guide is specifically for that, people are going to realize that that person is an expert or has specialized knowledge and wants to just go in that direction. So with that, I really want to talk about this lazy framework because I really, after the last couple of months doing this, I realized that my power, what I love to do, what I'm passionate about, is helping coaches and creatives build repeatable systems to give themselves more time and more freedom. And so, with this, if we can implement one funnel, one automated sequence of micro steps, making sure that it all loops back to where we want it to go, and we have data tracking every single thing that we're doing so we can repeat and better the process as the time goes on, that is going to be so much more efficient than doing whatever it is that we are doing. Now, again, I know that there's a lot of coaches that use social media as their main leverage, right? They go on socials, they send some invites or DMs, they post a couple, pieces of content in other groups, and maybe they have a bunch of people that are interested in the free guide, and then they're just sending that to them in the DMs. That, unfortunately, only goes so far, especially when you're trying to build a brand, a reputation in the online space. In my episode last week, I talked about how software is like a coffee shop for your online space, right? And I think that's the reality of the situation. You need to have something. And so when I talk about this, we're going to talk today about having one pipeline, right? So maybe your free guide and allowing that to do the heavy lifting for you. So the first thing here in leveraging one pipeline, I think this is the biggest thing. We really want to just drive people into one place. We don't want to have them going to so many different things as you develop in 100%, like even for us, like Jess, she has her bundles, right? And she has a mindset bundle that comes packed with subliminals, hypnosis, EFT tappings, and just some of the most powerful techniques to really allow you to become unstuck, right? When it comes to your visibility and your confidence. And now she also offers single sessions, right? So if you want more intensive help, then she also offers a one-on-one session with you. It could be 90 minutes, and she really will help you uncover a lot of those challenges and those limiting beliefs that we cannot break through on our own. So she has that. I have this software. And then, of course, we also have a podcasting course as well. So we have three different things, 100%, but we're not starting. We're clear on who our audience is, and we've already brought clients in across the board, right? And I think that's the most important thing to remember. This isn't our first 6 months in the business. This has been going on for a couple of years. And so naturally it develops and evolves over time. But if you are just starting out within the first 2 years of your business, if you really haven't had consistent results, then I would say this is where you really want to stick in, because at this point you don't have enough data to start pivoting, and you're pivoting because of lack of response. And the lack of response is almost the equivalent to having likes and comments on your posts, which we know aren't actually the things that will turn people into paying customers. So let's talk about leveraging one pipeline. This is the best and most efficient thing that you can do. Look, if you run a masterclass or you have a free guide, just set up one thing. Now, I've showed you on my back end how I set up masterclass funnels. And even recently with the done for you stuff too, I also have a ton of people that have asked me to build out specific funnels. And so with this, your best bet is just to have one pipeline, one funnel to just bring everyone through. That way, it makes things more efficient for you. You don't have to continuously test and try different things right now. You're better off just having one process and just getting better and better with it. It's kind of like this, right? I had a client a couple of years ago that mentioned like, oh, I have this course and it's doing well, but now I'm getting a lot of feedback from other people. Maybe I should go in a different direction and create a different course and then keep creating all these different courses. Now, although you could, spend the amount of time that it would take to create all these different courses, sometimes it takes people 90 days to create a course, even longer, especially depending on the information and research you might have to do to deliver it. But rather than creating all these different courses where you have to basically start from scratch with the lead generation and doing all of that all the time, you're better off just having one program and just adding these things to it, right? And then you can sell your program for more. And so that's the same concept that we apply to the one pipeline. Just have your one place that you drive people. So that way, if people are interested, it is one place that they go, and that's it. And then with that, the funnel, it's there. The emails are there. The automation is there. And we just get people going through it, and we can track and optimize each step of the process as we continue to get more data, rather than starting from scratch every 30 days because we feel like this free guide that we're offering doesn't really work the way that we want it to, right? So start with that one pipeline, whatever it is, free guide, masterclass, funnel, those are two of the biggest ones. Some people offer even like a low ticket thing too, like if you run ads for it. And that's really it. So once you have your free guide selected or your masterclass selected, like your main place that you want to direct people, and I've seen it, honestly, both of these work. The masterclass works as well if you're running them monthly, for example, because if you run ads or you have that link going out everywhere, the last thing that you'd want is to have everything point to our masterclass link, and then you land on the page and the link is expired or something, or it still says, June, whatever. Like that's the biggest challenge. So obviously, no, if you aren't gonna run monthly masterclasses that don't put direct everything to a masterclass, direct them to your free guide. You're better off that way. If you are running masterclasses monthly, then direct people to your masterclass, because having new people check in all the time, and even if you run ads to it, things of that nature, you'll always get new traffic coming to that place. And so that's the best thing. So have one offer, have one landing page, have one call to action, one scheduling link, one payment link. Like, we just have everything simple, because honestly, simple scales, and we can overcomplicate the situation, the process, but it's really not necessary. Then we get into automating the micro steps, right? Automate the process, automate the clicks, automate everything. So on the back end, when you have the right software in place, like for just automate, for example, we can automate everything. So we can track where people are coming from. So if they're coming from YouTube, if they've come from my podcast, if they've come from Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, TikTok, I can see where everyone comes from. So I can tag them. And then I can also set up responses as well. So if you guys checked out our how to build your email list mini course that Jess and I created, you'll see as soon as you do that, you're going to get an email almost instantaneously, because it is automatically going out. So you're going to get a thank you email. You're going to get an email that goes out to say, hey, here's your free account. Go ahead and create an account just so you can see access to the material. Because again, it's not a free guide, the PDF. It is an actual mini course. There's 5 modules that Jess and I put together for you, for people who want to build that email list. And so lead capture, right? Knowing the tagging, knowing the instant response, knowing what is that next step, and we automate that entire thing. Even it comes for, scheduling, having the appropriate reminders to ensure that people are coming to these calls. I think the last couple of people that joined the software actually had a problem with people not showing up to their calls. And I just wonder, like, how is it that you're having a hard time booking calls? That really only happens if you just push the call on someone and they genuinely weren't interested in having a call, or you don't have reminders. So which one is it? And it turns out they had no reminders. And I think when you realize that reminders, of course, just like anyone, we all can commit to things, TV show or anything that we see and we're interested in, we may see that and we might put it in our minds and put it in our calendars and put it in our journals, but that doesn't necessarily mean we're going to show up 100%. Those reminders really help allowing things to go the way that we want, having people show up and so on. Fulfillment, right? Like the triggers, so payments, portals, emails and stuff. I actually had one of the clients too was saying that she wanted to have basically the same accountability email go out every single week. And this was just to check in with them at the end of the week, just to see how they're doing. If they're running into any challenges that they need some support with, automated email will tell her every single thing that they need to know about if they need to reach out and book a call or not, right? So automating those micro steps. And you can automate everything from tagging to emails to follow-ups to reminders. Having that in place, I'm telling you, it really does make a difference. And if we go back to part 1, having one funnel for what it is that you're doing, having one payment link, one booking link, just one of these things, then you have the micro steps for the tagging and the delivery, and everything really taking it forward can be really, really helpful. And then, of course, we have step number 3, which is the 0 dead ends piece. Everything's got to go somewhere. Don't leave it to the abyss, right? A lot of people, they'll run like a free guide thing and it'll just be a cadence of like 5 emails and then it just ends. But have it go somewhere, have it loop into a different nurture sequence, or have it loop into, a masterclass or whatever it is that you're doing next. So I think that the thing with this, right, is like we realized there was this thing that I seen the other day where, this guy was using Facebook and his posts as the best way to gauge how good the emails are. And so he basically took his highest performing Facebook posts and put that in a nurturing email sequence. So he basically had an email sequence of like 160 emails that he just kept adding to week over week. And basically, when someone opted into like a free guide, for example, once they're done that sequence of emails, if they don't book a call or purchase, like whatever your main call to action is, then they just go into this email nurturing sequence of like 160 emails plus that keep growing. So that way they're continuously getting educated and nurtured to allow them to move forward with whatever your call to actions are. And of course, you're not just going to get all emails at the same time. Sometimes you put a cadence of every other day or every couple days, things of that nature, just to ensure that people are still getting valuable knowledge and you're staying top of mind for whatever it is that you're trying to promote. And then, of course, the last piece, right? Like yield data driven tracking. And I think this is the biggest thing. A lot of people, when we implement a new thing, we don't actually check how much it's working. We don't track because it's not trackable, right? It's not trackable. If we actually had data to suggest, hey, here's my free guide, and it's been 6 months and no one's purchased or booked a call with it. It's like, yeah, I get that. But every single week, how many offers are you putting out with your free guide? Are you actually putting out offers? Okay, so you're putting out 5 offers a week. Of the 5 offers a week, one person is saying yes, and then they're not actually opening the message to get the book. So it's obviously extremely low tracking percentages. But what if you could actually see? What if you could actually see those numbers and the data towards what the output actually is? We would be able to make so much more informed decisions rather than just relying on our minds that are kind of, racing and doing a lot of different things. So, for example, how many people are viewing your landing pages? How many people are clicking in? How many people are showing up? How many people show up and paid? Right? Like that is just one example of being able to track the data that we need. So, for example, if it was like a book and call link, so you have your free guide. So, how many people actually land on that free guide website? So, maybe you have 100 people that land on the website every week, and it's like, okay, of the people, 100 people that show up, maybe 20 people actually book in. Actually, maybe 20 people actually click to download this free guide, right? So you have 20 people. Now, of the 20 people that do that, how many of those people with the series of nurtured emails actually book a call? So maybe you have 5 people for every 20 that book a call. And then of the 5 people that book a call, how many people of those 5 actually purchase? Maybe you have 2 people for every 5 people, for every 20 people that land on your page. You have so much more data, right, to understand what it is. And then it's like, cool. So that means I know for every 100 people that land on my page, 20 of them will actually get the free guide. Of the 20 people, 5 of them will actually book a call. And for every 5 book calls, I'll have 1 purchase. Like that, even just that, walking through the steps, you'll understand the numbers for your business. So you can make better educated decisions and informed decisions on what you need to do. And even in a situation like that, what is the numbers that you really want to have? I mean, 100 people showing up to your website every single week isn't bad. Sure, you can up those numbers, but what I'd rather update is how can I convert more of those people that land on my page, right? Because that is a big drop off from 100 people looking at it to only 20 people getting the free guide. So now I know if I update and optimize the landing page, then I should have more people getting the free guide. And then you get to a point where it's like, hey, 100 people are still showing up to the landing page, but now I have 50 people that are getting the free guide. Now, of the 50 people that get the free guide, how many people are booking a call? Oh, still only 5. So now we need to tweak that number. And that is the point of having data-driven tracking and understanding how we can get data and over a period of time really make better informed decisions when it comes to making the necessary tweaks that we need to have a sustainable business. So this is the lazy technique, if you will. So again, lazy standing for leverage one pipeline, automate micro steps, 0 dead ends, and yield data-driven tracking. And you can see even just with this, implementing something like this could be so simple and can move your business tremendously in the right direction. It's enough of the times where we really don't know and we're wishing and hoping and praying that people are going to purchase. Those times are done. The consumer is more educated now more than ever. And so it's time for us to level up our brands, our mission, so we can continue to make the impact that we want. If you're interested in connecting, learning more about the software, hearing the podcast, anything like that, all the links will be down below. Appreciate you guys as always. And as always, I'll catch you on the next one.